I'm Tom Gonzales. I teach Spanish 2, 3, and 4. Okay, overall I've been teaching 40 years. I've taught here at Snyder High School about 35 of those years. I started back in 1992. I retired for my first retirement was in 2009. I worked at another school here locally for about 4 years part-time, and then I came back in about 2014, so I've been back another 10 years. Wow. All right, personally, I'd have to say my mother. All right. She was the driving force for, everything that I probably do today, starting with education. That's deep. All right, there's a lady named Marva Collins, all right, who taught in the Chicago school districts, and she wrote a book. And I learned a lot from, just reading her stuff, and, it built sort of my philosophy as to, what teaching is all about. And basically it was that every kid can learn, bottom line. I still remember stuff, good and bad, right? I don't know why this comes to mind, but we used to do a cascarón activity, right? That we do around Easter, right? And anyway, one of my girls got zapped with a cascarón that had Elmer's glue in it. Days like that you don't forget, okay? But there's a lot of other ones, but I don't know why that just comes to mind right now. I guess it's got to be photography. I've done it since 1988, right? And so there's been a lot of good experiences with that. I've had chances to incorporate that into, the teaching part. And but I meet a lot of people, I've made a lot of friends, made a lot of connections, and built a lot of relationships with people doing that. And so, and that's also my go-to place sometimes when school life gets stressful, okay? I can go to my shop and just sort of close the door, right? And, enter the world of photography, and it just sort of like helps me, sort of chill. I got into photography basically as a business, I guess you could say, in 1988. And it all started when my son was born in 81. My wife comes home one day with a camera kit, camera bag, and had all these nice lenses and flashes and, all this stuff. And the main idea then was to take pictures of the baby, right? And so I did that, for so long. And then as I went, I just, learned to appreciate good photography, I guess. And I just learned to, want a better picture and a better picture, and, just wanted to get better at it. And that's what I did. I just trained myself, kind of thing. I did that through, just, of course, that was before Google, all right? So back then it was videos. You'd go to, videos and learn from that. And of course, trial and error was a big part of it, right? And so, and then of course I attended a lot of workshops, right, and stuff like that with big time photographers that, you can learn from and all that. So that's basically how I did. Well, today I call it grandpa advice. school is not just about subject matter, right? I mean, I teach Spanish, and I've done this for years and years. But students that I've had will tell you that I always talk about things that hopefully will benefit them in their own lives, right? And so I tend to give what I call grandpa advice, uh, because again, in my culture, um, we tend to really hold the senior citizen to be a little more, political, I guess, up at a high level because we respect them for, their experiences that they've gone through, right? And it's just that they've been living longer than us and they always have good information, right? That younger people, right, can pick up on without having to make those same mistakes, right, as you go through life. And so I bring up a lot of that, um, and hoping that they'll pick up on that, and many times kids will remember a lot of that stuff, sometimes more than, Spanish, unfortunately. But, it's a good thing, You just you gotta stay after it. You have to learn how to ask questions also. A lot of kids think that, you sound stupid and this and that, asking questions, right? But it's really a pathway to learning, when you don't quite have the complete picture, of what you're learning, you have to ask good questions, okay, to sort of fill those gaps, right? And bring that puzzle together. And hopefully, that helps you to learn. And unfortunately, people don't do that. Even adults, we sometimes, do the same thing. But that's a big part. That's a biggie, learning how to ask questions. And your generation is really good at this, I think, because you're Google people. So, if you don't know something, you go ask Google, right? Well, in the same way, you could ask a teacher, kind of thing. And sometimes that information may not be as good as Google, but, that's something you need to learn how to do. Not just in school, but later on as you go on to other things, you're always going to have, those questions that you need in order to get the job done or get things in order and so on. So asking questions that's a biggie. It really is.